So, because I'm not in my studio, I'm still in this bedroom. I haven't left. No, I'm joking. It's probably going to be another 2 months before I actually have a studio. So I thought what I'd do in this video, instead of my normal second channel content, whatever that is, I thought I'd show you a couple of the stuff that I've got in this room with me. Obviously, I do have some stuff in storage, like my furniture and other slightly less important items. The really rare stuff is in this room with me. So let's go through a couple of boxes. And if you like this series, I'll do a few more. I've got about 6 or 7 boxes in here. So without any further ado, let's get on with it. This is why I cannot wait to have a studio. I mean, just look, I've got a random microphone just poking out. It's going to be so nice to have all of this set up back in an actual office again. These sorts of videos, it's fine, you can just make them anywhere, but I just cannot wait to make my normal, regular main channel content. I'm really worried about that channel. Hopefully, you're all going to watch my videos again when I come back, but here we go. Not sure how we're going to do this. Maybe some of the more interesting stuff we can actually open the box and go into a lot more detail. Now, most of these things you're going to have seen before. There's a couple of exceptions to that, but most of them you're going to have seen before, either in an unboxing video from Sendico or in an actual main channel review. So, let's start with these two here. These are some Game Boy lights that I've got. I've got the gold one and I've got the silver one. Now, I've actually had these for a really, really long time. I think this was probably one of the first things that I bought when my channel started doing well. I think they were maybe about £100 each, which at the time was probably about right. Maybe it was a kind of a good deal for the condition that they're in. This silver one's in really good condition. But now I think they probably would fetch maybe £250 or something. I really like on the back down here that it says for sale and use in Japan only. Which is just really sick. Like, obviously this the Game Boy Light is Japanese exclusive. We never got it anywhere else in the world. It was only released in Japan, and there's something just so cool about owning that, you know. And I love these boxes. They are so not Nintendo. If you know what I mean, it just doesn't look Nintendo at all. But I really, really like it. So cool. They're probably one of my favorite items in my collection. So let's take a look at some other ones. Now this is quite an interesting little set. Now every now and again on Sendico, a Game Boy will be uploaded onto Yahoo Auctions, which is in really good condition and severely undervalued. And I picked them up because I love collecting them. And this is an example of one that was in really good condition, which I got for really cheap. I can't remember exactly how much I paid. You can see that the screen's got a little bit of burn on it, but if you look at the actual screen lens, it's completely immaculate, as is the back. There's hardly any wear on the back there at all. So yeah, that's one that I really like in my collection, and I every now and again I just find them, you know, probably around about sort of £20, something like that. I've actually just bought another one. I'll put a picture of that up on the screen and the price that I paid for it. I'm looking forward to receiving that. I'm actually going to do a video, I'll probably film it today as well, about making the actual Sendico parcel, you know, showing that process and how that works, and maybe then we can go through the prices of stuff a bit better, because usually I forget about the prices of everything that I've paid. But yeah, here's a good one. This one was an atomic purple Game Boy Color. Now we have this right here, which I think is empty, but I actually do have this Game Boy. So this is the, I think it's called Jusco or something, which is some sort of shop in Japan. It's exactly the same as the atomic purple Game Boy Color. It's just got some Mario decals on it, which is kind of cool. And again, I think they were exclusive to, this design I think was exclusive to Japan. Really easy to fake now, because you just pick up a real atomic purple Game Boy Color from Japan and stick a screen lens on it, so it's quite hard to find them legit. If you can, I'd say try and get one boxed, because then you know it's going to be legit, or at least there's a much better chance. Right. The Hello Kitty Game Boy Color we have actually looked at quite a lot. This one's in seriously good condition, but unfortunately the batteries were left in it and they leaked. So now you've got this really weird discoloration up here with a bit of the cardboard actually getting quite damaged there, which is a big shame, but it is what it is. It happens. But I got it for very cheap and in really good condition besides that. So Not too bad. Right, here's another couple of things I've had for a seriously long time. Now, the story of these is actually quite cool. Now, these are the silver and black Game Boy Pocket. The silver one, my brother got me. This was something that he got me a very, very long time when I was much younger. I reckon maybe about 13 years old. He bought it on Amazon. It must have been cheap because there's no way my brother could have spent the going rate on a boxed Game Boy Pocket now. And yeah, it was something that I've kept and hung on to for that long. So probably about 10 years I've had this now. And it's something that's really important to me. So let's have a quick look inside. I think the Game Boy actually has a modded screen. Yeah, it does. So, well, it's got a repaired screen. I must have pinched the screen for something at some point. But yeah, that's the Game Boy inside there. And it also came with some cool games. I think it came with Dr. Mario, Tetris Plus, and that might be it actually. But yeah, anyway, there we go. Silver Game Boy Pocket. Now the gold one, really cool story behind this box. This was actually sent to me by a guy who I believe was called Fabio. And it was very kindly just donated to me. And the gold Game Boy Pocket's actually quite a rare one. But the reason why I love the fact that he gave it to me was I did a video restoring a gold Game Boy Pocket, and it got picked up and went onto Lad Bible, and that was probably one of my most viral videos ever. Obviously it was on Lad Bible, it wasn't on my account, but it had like over 1 million views, and that was when I pretty much first started, so that was huge. You can see there's a bit of a mess on the back here. I need a new sticker to put on there, but I've actually got loads. I don't know why I don't just put one on, but yeah, so Lad Bible picked this up. They made a video on it and put it on their Facebook page. It's got a backlit screen as well. That was a thing that I went back and did on another video. But it's so nice to have it boxed because it's such a very, you know, special, unique thing that again means just a lot to me. So a lot of these Game Boys are going to be really hard to ever get rid of, and I do need to downsize my collection, but it's just very hard. You know, it's a collector or a hoarder, whatever you want to call me, does sort of continue to just justify owning all of these things. This DS Lite we've looked at recently. This is a Pokemon one. I'm going to just move this camera up because I keep cutting off the top of it. There we go. So this is a Pokemon Center DS Lite. Really, really rare. Very beautiful. The Nintendo Switch Lite, the recent Nintendo Switch Lite released, had this design. So yeah, really beautiful design. This one's the Japanese one. Obviously, I got it from Sendico. Couple of Game Boys here in boxed. This one is a Play It Loud Black Edition, which is a little bit dusty. Now, this one is meant to be getting a restoration on it at some point. It's actually in really good condition. You can see they're hardly been used. Annoyingly, though, the A like logo, the little A sign has worn off, which is a big shame. But these are quite hard to find now in really good condition. So at some point, I'll get round to restoring that. It doesn't come with any other documentation, but I think I got this for a complete steal as well. So it's my first boxed Play It Loud Game Boy that I've ever had. Now we have a Game Boy here. This is the original box. You can see what the slight difference was. This is completely empty. I'm just saving this for something one day, but it's completely empty. And then I've got one here that's actually not empty, and it's got a Game Boy in it. And the Game Boy in here is just in such good condition. This is just such a good example of a DMG, so I had to pick it up. You can see it's still got the polystyrene top, which is quite rare. I imagine these probably would have gotten destroyed quite quickly. Obviously, there were a lot of these made, though. So you've got a little thing there about the contrast wheel, and also a manual there as well. The serial number ends in 1584. We've got a a complete sealed pack of headphones. There would have been some batteries that sat there, but obviously they've been removed. And then you've got 1584. And yeah, this Game Boy is in really nice condition. It's got the port cover there for the link cable. So a really cool little Game Boy boxed. I actually love collecting these boxed Game Boys because I just think they're going to be worth something one day. And it's also really nice to hold something that was so iconic that's in like a pretty much brand new condition. I mean, that is just really special. you've got to think how popular these were. It must be pretty rare to have some that aren't opened. You know, I know a lot of them were made, as I said, but it's unopened, or at least very, very, very little play to it at all. So really cool. No idea why no one would play that. Why would they buy it and then not play it? Maybe it was like some middle-aged person who thought they'd be trendy and get into it, and then they hated it. This is something quite cool and unique. I would like to get a box protector made for this because these are incredibly rare. This is a very early Tetris Game Boy DMG game. Now, the boxes for these Game Boy games are usually about this big. So this one is called a big box Tetris, and it is actually the Minuet version of the game, which has a slightly different soundtrack to the normal that we're familiar with. If you've been watching my channel for a while, then you'll know what I mean. But yeah, these are really rare, really hard to find. Very lucky to have one. This one, again, I think is pretty much unused. You've got the manual there. There's the game. And then you have the most important part of this big box Tetris, which is the link cable. But yeah, this is absolutely brand new, unused, very, very rare, very hard to find, and something that a lot of collectors are after. So really lucky to have that. And I've actually managed to find a couple more on Sendico, just because I'm on there all the time, that I'll be giving to some friends and whatnot, because they've been after some as well. But yeah, there we have it. Big box Tetris Minuet, very nice. That would have been quite the epic set back in the day, wouldn't it? Right, Dance Dance Revolution, GB. Not sure why that's in here. This isn't worth anything or particularly rare at all, but I just must have shoved it in here because it's in quite good condition. I like it because it comes with a little sort of control pad that you connect over the buttons, and then it turns into a dance pad. So here's some boxed DS's. We've got a DSi Panda. This is a development kit so that game devs could play their new games that they're coding on an actual piece of hardware. Really cool. Definitely looked at them in quite a lot of detail before on the channel. I did actually make a video on my main channel about it, but it just didn't go anywhere. It completely didn't go anywhere at all. This one is another development unit. It's exactly the same, but this is a UK version. This one that I showed you before was Japanese. And then we have the elusive DSML, which is a Chinese sort of reshell of the original Nintendo DS. This must have just been to try and get some sales out of a DS on AliExpress or whatever. I don't think this one's ever been opened. Maybe we shouldn't bother opening this, but I have made a video on this before as well. So if you want to go and check it out, it's on my main channel. Right. Okay, here is the next box. Let's see what is going on in this one. Now, all of these are, most of them at least, are in acrylic box protectors, which is probably an indication that they're quite expensive ones. So let's go through it and let's find out what it is that we have in here. So this first one, I know what this is. This is a 3DS Panda 3DS development kit. Not massively sure how rare these are. I think maybe, I mean, quite rare, obviously. It's a development kit for a Nintendo 3DS, but I'm not sure exactly how rare they are. I've made a video on this as well. Again, I don't remember it doing particularly well. It might well have done, I can't remember, but anyway, it's something really cool and unique, and that's the sort of stuff I like collecting. A lot of the sort of standard stuff, you know, stuff that's just, you could just buy it on a shop shelf back in the day. A lot of that I try not to collect because you could just go on collecting all of it forever. I like the stuff that's really a bit more unique. For example, like this. This was a 3DS that you could win in a competition that was limited only to 100 units. You can see there, it's the 8 Ranger 2, which was a Japanese sort of like, I think like a Power Rangers-esque comedy. Yeah, there's only 100 of these in the world. This one's boxed, very good condition. Really happy with that. Then we have something that, again, is pretty rare. Not particularly unique, but in this condition, it's probably quite rare. And to me, this one has quite a story. I love on the side as well that it says £17 and 15 pence. But this was something that I actually got a long time ago. And I made a video about it on my channel very long ago, and then I actually sold it because I would have needed some money at the time, or I traded it or something, and I recently managed to buy it back from my friend Dan. And thank you so much, Dan, for selling it back to me at such a reasonable price. I'm never going to sell this again. I regret doing that massively. I did every day since I got rid of it, and I've managed to get it back now. So yeah, really happy with that. It's a very lovely thing to have in my collection. So let's move on to what is in here. Oh, this is a Game Boy Advance. It's just a regular Game Boy Advance, but this was a part of the Nintendo Power Swap program. So essentially you would just take out like a sort of an insurance on your Game Boy from Nintendo. It was an official insurance scheme called like the Nintendo Power Swap. And if you ever had any issue with your Game Boy, they would literally swap it for you there and then with another one, which is quite cool, I think. Couple of boxed Game Boy Colors in really good condition. These are two pretty rare ones. We've got the Die-Hawks orange and black, and then we've got the jet black one there, which is a limited edition one. So really nice to have those acrylic box protectors. You know me. Right, we've got a couple of Game Gears here. This is a clear Game Gear, something that I was after for quite a long time when I saw my friend Matt got one. It's a smoke black Game Gear. They're pretty rare, but I just think they look super duper cool. And this one's been recapped and works lovely. And then this is a blue one that was actually sent to me by a viewer. And I think I've taken out like the power board from this for some reason, so I need to at some point put that back and get that one working. Now we have a couple of really rare Game Boy Pockets. We've got the Imagineer one, super duper rare. These were limited to a couple of thousand, and you won them in various different ways, but basically by playing games and submitting into a raffle. And then you've got a Famitsu Game Boy Pocket, which is actually a bit of a Frankenstein. It's got a different box to the unit, and I think a different manual to the unit, so it's not quite a complete one, but things are quite expensive inherently with collecting, and so it's fine to for me to just have a pretty close match. Now this might not look like anything to anybody, but there are a group of people in the world that will go wow to this. This is a Game Plus. Now the Game Plus was a sort of a wannabe Game Boy, really bad, but this in box condition with the screen protector still on it is just so unbelievably rare. And this was something that my friend John and I did a trade over a long time ago, and it's really special to me. It's probably one of my favorite items. I just love it so much, and I got a custom box protector made for it, and yeah, it's just quite funny and I like it. This is the Long Boy. We don't need to go into this. I've pinched the screen lens for something. I need to put that back, but yeah, Long Boy. This was a project I did on the main channel. One day I'd like to do videos like that again when I get the capacity to do it. This is a Game Boy test cartridge. Very rare, very hard to find. It was basically used by Nintendo employees to diagnose what was wrong with Game Boys. There was a few different variants. This one only does the button presses, so you can find out if the buttons are not working or if they're working. So there we have it. That is my collection that I have in these two boxes. As I said, if you enjoy this, I will do another one. If you don't, I won't bother. The plan for when I eventually get my house, I think, will be to basically put these all out on display, but I don't want to have it all in the same place again. I think one of my issues that I've got with owning this much stuff is that it's not really feasible to comprehend everything in view if it's all in just one place. What I think my plan is for when I finally buy my new house is to actually scatter the collection around the house so that I've got maybe 1 or 2 cabinets in the living room, 1 or 2 cabinets in my office, maybe a cabinet in a spare room or something like that. You know, I don't know, but I would like to try and stagger the collection out slightly so that it's not just all in one big concentrated area. It'd be quite nice to just, you know, wander into the living room and just take a little look at something and then acknowledge it and really give it the time it deserves, instead of just having some seriously overwhelming room full of stuff, if you know what I mean. So there we go. That's it. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know. If you didn't, let me know. And give me other recommendations of what you'd like me to do on my second channel. These videos do really help a lot for me mentally to keep myself back in, you know, the game, but also financially, because I've got no income coming in from the main channel at the moment. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.